very warm welcome from Pharma 2024 here in Barcelona. My name is Charlotte. I'm a Global Project Director with the Reuters Pharma team, and I'm joined today by Subhro Mallik with Infosys. Subhro, thank you so much for joining me. Can you tell me a little bit more about your role and exactly what that entails?
Thank you, Charlotte, first of all, for having me on this show. I am an EVP with Infosys. I manage the life sciences business globally for the company. My role entails, if I look at the life sciences business that we manage, we define it as pharma, the biotech industry, the medtech, and a little bit of the distributor business. So that's what we define as life sciences, and that's what I manage for the company.
So for anyone that's listening to this and isn't familiar with Infosys, could you share a little bit about what your organization does?
So we are a business consulting and IT services firm. We've been in business since 1981. We are a little bit north of getting close to 19 billion in revenues with 350,000 plus employees. We serve across multiple industries, healthcare, life sciences, which I represent, but we have financial services, retail, CPG, manufacturing. So name it, we are a full service provider across consulting and IT and BPM. So that's what we primarily do. So we were focused on, as an organization, we are focused on solving the biggest problems that our clients have by enabling them from a technology and a consulting perspective. That's what we do.
Great. I think you're in a really unique position then to not only see what's happening in life sciences and pharma, but I suppose across multiple industries, and you're in a really good position then to advise and contrast some of those, the different progressions that are happening. So on the back of that, what are your big focuses for 2024? Where are you focusing your priorities at the moment when it comes to the pharma and life sciences space?
So this was nicely said, Charlotte. That's the advantage of working for a company like Infosys, because if I look at our industry, life sciences and healthcare, that's the context of this event today, we have been laggards. From a technology adoption perspective, we do superb stuff when it comes to innovation and things like that in the core business, but when it comes to digital and adoption of digital technologies, I think we have a long way to go.
Yeah.
What it helps us is by looking at other industries which are far ahead, like a retail or a financial services, we can leverage those learnings and we are able to bring it then in context for our life sciences clients. That's the first advantage we have working with Infosys. If I look at 2024, the priorities, we have a couple of things. The first is, we want to see how we can accelerate the journey, the digital adoption journey for our clients that we work for today. And when I say digital, it has to obviously have, in the current context, AI embedded into these solutions. So we need to leapfrog from just being a digital company to be an AI first company, and how can we enable our life sciences customers and the healthcare clients to adopt this. And then within that, we have multiple focuses, right? We have two big focus areas in the life sciences business. First is how can we enable patient care for our clients, because that's an area where I think there's a huge unmet need, and that's what we're talking about in this event. And then the whole other part of it is how do we bring technology into, let's say, supply chain visibility, into manufacturing, and then going all the way forward in the life cycle to core research and to clinical development. How do we bring adoption of AI and the digital technology? So our focus are going to be on the commercial side of the business, from a patient care perspective, from a supply chain perspective on supply chain visibility, and then on the core clinical side, how do we create a clinical environment that engages with the patients in a much better way.
So Subhro, I want to sort of dive into a few different areas, and the first is AI, which I think is unsurprising. It's the buzzword probably of the last 5 years. Everyone's interested in it. Some organizations are a lot further along, and you'll know in your position that some industries are have really managed to embed it and make it mainstream. So when you zoom in on the life sciences space, where are you seeing the greatest potential for AI's use, where we want to streamline efficiencies, but I think we also want to consider where AI has a role to play in bringing down costs and getting patients treatment faster. Where is AI exciting you at the moment?
So I think you touched upon a few things, Charlotte. First of all, AI is about the easy ones, which we believe are gaining efficiencies. How do we bring costs down? So if I look at AI, where we see the maximum utilization of the immediate is how can we embed AI into business operations, into IT operations, so that the processes become more efficient. And that's where I think most of our clients are trying to get it done. But one thing we have to be careful about AI, there's a lot of hype. So the reality will be somewhere in the middle. But I think the reality on operations is already there. The more interesting stuff that we are focused on is how do we enable AI in core business areas. Like, for example, can we use AI to find the next wonder drug that will solve a problem? Or can we use AI in the clinical trial space to predict that a certain trial will, let's say, not work and you end early, or this has symptoms that it will go well and hence you can accelerate the journey. The same one maybe on, if you look at supply chain, how do we bring AI into the mix to see whether there's an intelligent way to predict when there's going to be an outage of the product or a reduction of the product and then bring it back into manufacturing. So we see multiple areas where we can do it. The way we are engaging with our clients, and I think clients are also being a little bit cautious because of some of the past hype cycles they have seen, that they are adopting it in bits and bytes, like focused on a few things. Can you deliver, let's say, a MVP? Does it deliver to the business case? Then accelerate. So I think we will see a gentler adoption of the technology, if I may say, but not the way everybody is thinking that, okay, tomorrow we are going to be AI enabled. And you have to always remember the pharma clients, the life sciences, medical devices clients, they are very conservative. They work in highly regulated areas. So it's going to be a little bit of a slow adoption, but I think we are getting there.
So Subhro, just exactly what I was going to ask you. Are there, since Infosys sort of sits across multiple industries, is there an industry that you see, another highly regulated space where you're seeing AI being successfully embedded? As you mentioned, pharma is conservative in its approach, and I think it's an area that requires high investment, and people want to ensure that that investment's being used for the right things. But just if you were to rattle off an industry you think is making good use of it, is there one that comes to mind?
I think financial services.
Yeah.
Financial services, I think they're doing a brilliant job with AI, whether it's in the core, operations that they have with the customer engagements or in their core businesses. I think they're ahead of the curve. The other industry which I believe is doing quite well is retail, because it's completely a B2C focused business. That's an easier part, if I may say. It's not as regulated, but I think a comparison like to like would be financial services, which I think is as regulated as pharma.
Great. Thanks, Subhro. So next I want to, since you're experts in digital, I want to touch upon digital health as an area. This is another emerging area that pharma is really trying to sort of seize the opportunity and extract what they can, because they see the potential in really making a difference into patients. Are there any key challenges that you see are hindering the industry from progress in digital health? What do we need to be prioritizing or focusing on to really start moving the needle in this space?
So I think the initial years of digital health, I think this thing has been going on, if I may say, for the last 5 years, right? So the initial hindrance was, well, how do you make the data available? Where do you have the data? I think we have made good progress in that area today. You see digital health in terms of how they engage with patients, how we are engaging with the supply chains, how we are engaging on the manufacturing side. If you take medical devices, how are the digital devices, the medical devices being modernized so that they can enable some of the latest features that digital technologies can offer, digital platforms can offer. I think still the hindrance today is if you look at patient care as an example, and if a pharma company were to sponsor a patient care program, how do you define the return on investment? What is it that the company is going to benefit? The business case behind it is still a little bit, I would say, ambiguous. I mean, there is a thought today, right, that you can take the data which is there and monetize the data. That's the holy grail for most of the medical device and pharma companies. Can you monetize the data and then go back and ask for better payments from an insurance perspective, right? But that's going to take some time. So I think whereas from an enablement perspective, possibly we have crossed that hurdle. We have a little bit more understanding of how to get past regulations and things like that. But the business case part is still something that the industry needs to work on.
Understandably, and I think we're seeing progress in the space, and it is all about the patient and advancing care for the patient, better treatment pathways, better adherence. And so to wrap up and ask you one final question, what are your views on the progress in patient care in Europe and even globally?
I think it's been tremendous. I think if you look at the industry, patient care has become important foundationally because we are solving more difficult to solve diseases like in oncology, or if you look at it more chronic diseases like whether it's Alzheimer's, prior concerns, hypertension and things like that. But all of these today, what we didn't focus on is that the patient, we never put them at the center. It was always about the medicine that you have made. Okay, you have cholesterol, I'll give you the medication. But we didn't take a 360-degree view of the patient, saying, are you exercising enough? Are you eating the right food? How do you do that? With all the digital technologies we have today, the biomarkers that we have, we are able to integrate that data and provide a much better patient care. So I think the progress in patient care is good. It's excellent to see some of the stuff that is happening, but there is obviously a lot more to be done. If you look at today, if you go to a doctor's place today, you would be surprised at the technology that they're rendering to you. I mean, if you compare it with the Apple phone and what the kind of apps you're using and the app that the physician might be giving you, it seems very arcane, it seems very legacy. So I think we have made good progress on patient care, but there's a lot to be done. And I think that's what we are here for also in this forum today, right? That we're trying to figure out together that how can we make patient care a lot better.
Exactly, and we ran a poll earlier today about, what is the big priority that everyone is highlighting within their organizations, and we saw patient care ranking right at the top. So I'm sure the hope is that we'll see more organizations continue to harness some of these new tools like AI, like digital health, to really keep driving that mission for patients.
I hope so too.
Thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you, Charlotte, for having me on the show.